When it comes to adopting technology, it seems the construction industry in Singapore is dragging its feet. A survey by software company Procore Technologies says 4 in 10 prefer to wait until the tech is proven and established. To tell us if this attitude could affect standards or even safety in this industry, we have with us our two guests this evening, Raymond Chan, who heads digitalisation efforts at the Singapore Contractors Association, and Mr. Weng from Procore itself. Now, we don't have to look very far, and you can tell me what they are, Mr. Tan. The various ways in which things like 3D modelling can help the building industry, and yet this is not on paper. This is a great idea. In practice, it's not happening.
Right. So thanks for having us here. Actually, there are a lot of technologies that are helping the construction business today. In fact, from our survey that we have seen that actually technologies that customers are seeing as game-changing over the next 3 years are actually quite a few. That includes robotics, drones, it includes prefabrications, and many others. But what is interesting is that what's topping the list is actually what is known as a construction management platform that's actually helping to drive a lot of businesses and change over the next 3 years. And it is so because I think companies and construction firms are seeing that at the very core of construction to build smarter, better, and safer, it is to ensure that a platform is able to help navigate these construction firms to be able to find the right people, materials, equipments, to be able to build in the right time, in the right place, and the right things. So that's what the survey has actually shown us to do.
Mr. Chan, let's bring you in on the conversation here. I mean, it sounds like a game changer, as Mr. Tan said, and many applications as well. But are we seeing a reluctance by contractors to actually use this kind of technology?
I would not term it as a reluctancy, but rather is considerations or concerns over where to put the investment on and what tools to be used. In the built environment, it consists of different layers of companies, from the big builders to the smaller subcontractors or the sub-specialist contractors. The appetite for investment into technology is not the same for everybody, right? So in this context, basically, like in any industry, where you put your money, where you put your investment must bring the right value to you. And this is probably more significant for the smaller companies than the biggest companies. In order to actually harness the benefit of technology, the right tools need to be used for the right job. And besides the technology itself, there are also concerns about alignments of workflows, alignments of designs that makes the technology worthwhile being tapped on. Whether they can use it for just one project, all their projects, or just part of projects because of design or compliance constraint. Therefore, there must be alignment, but work's already been done in streamlining the designs and workflow to make sure that the harnessing of this technology brings the correct value against the investment. So there's more of that rather than reluctance.
Yeah, they want to get bang for their buck with the technology, right?
That's right.
Mr. Tan, you mentioned this, for you, the most striking construction management platforms that will find the right people, material, equipment, the right time, the place to build something. And that contributes, you mentioned, to safety. Now, surely for a smaller firm, that is a very big concern. Is there anything that if I were a small contractor, construction firm, I know how to get this platform for the least amount of money, serving exactly what I need at this point in my development?
Yeah. So actually, technology has actually advanced to the point where it becomes a lot more affordable for today, whether you are a small medium company or whether you're a global MNC. I think that's why companies are hesitant in many ways. Is also because that there is actually a lack of awareness as to what technologies are out there. There are concerns, am I selecting the right technology to be able to do the right things that I want them to do? And I think a lot of the companies also are actually lacking the expertise in order to be able to not just select the technology, but even to implement and to adopt technology. And I think this is where, from Procore and our end, and we see many companies around the world over the last 20 years of our existence, and over the 15,000 customers, we want to be able to see how we can leverage the experience to be able to help companies, regardless of whether they're small or whether they're large, to undergo successfully this digital journey.
So it is a process, and in a way, these companies could benefit from some hand-holding in a way. Is the process, as it stands, too complicated? Because as Mr. Chan said, they really want to be able to apply. I mean, you're not going to invest in something if you don't know where and how to deploy it. So could it be less complicated? Would that help?
I think the technology today has come to the point where there's so many technologies out there actually, and I think the ability to select the right one sometimes can be very daunting and challenging. I won't say it's complicated. I would say that what companies really need to do at this point is to really find the right expertise, to bring the right expertise into the company so that they know how to best select it, how to implement it, and how to adopt it in a way that will benefit the company in the fastest time to value.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chan, what you mentioned, I think both of you have said this in different ways. You need it, but you need it to really work for you, and you're not the same as everyone else in the industry. Is there, well, clearly there's no, if there's reluctance, then companies are not feeling the urgency to do this. Would you recommend urgency, speed to adopt all these new technologies, or rather, you know what, maybe reluctance, it's not such a bad thing. Let's take our time and really work it out and get something that works for us?
I think it's the approach and the manner the technology is being implemented. I mean, being blind to technology is no good, but blindly chasing technology, changing tools after tools when something doesn't work as well. So the right tools or the right words you probably have for the right jobs is probably something that we keep repeating, but that is what serves best for the companies and for the industries. So it reached a point whereby if you keep changing the tools before you understand the underlying issues, whether is it a design issues, an implementation, or people issue. I always like to talk about this is striking balance between the syntax and the logic, the the technology know-how and the domain knowledge. And that is about developing the pool of talents within the industry and attracting new talents, retraining, retaining talents to make this happen, to move to a more technology advanced construction industry.
Yeah, and perhaps to even add on to what Raymond has said, we are, through experience, we are seeing a lot of companies right now actually shifting their focus from just purely on the defense, meaning just to look at rework, reduce risk, to actually leveraging data to do more, to be more aggressive in the way that they bid, to be more competitive out in the market. And we're seeing a lot of them actually leveraging data to be able to do that. And you can only do that if you are actually having the technology to capture the data. And so our call for industry is actually to have a sense, more urgency for sure, because we want to be able to remain competitive in this very tight market.
All right. A final question for both of you, because we are running out of time. First, Mr. Chan, then Mr. Tan. So you talk, very important, safety. If you can very quickly, succinctly, one tech that a company, and you can specify what kind of company that might be, needs to adopt that can help improve safety standards in their company. Very quickly, starting Mr. Chan and then Mr. Tan.
I will not say technology or what, but for safety, the underlying principle of safety is still the safety culture within the companies. Technologies are tools to help them to achieve their safety targets. So the right implementation will actually bring them the right result.
Yep. So safety essentially is really just to help identify, to understand, and to do predictive and corrective actions. So as what Raymond said, it's more important that with technology has to be coupled with policies and training in order to build the overall safety culture to increase safety standards.
It's a tailored approach for different companies, isn't it? This is what I hear. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming into the studios to discuss all of this with us. Yep. Raymond Chan there from the Singapore Contractors Association and Mr. Tan Kin Weng from the global software provider Procore.